Here, especially the ones that are made in 1975. That's like 40 yeah. Right? It was on ice.
Your stuff tastes good.
I hate to go there because they play. Well, I don't want looking, but I keep trying. Oh, I hate the crowd. But,
I saw it in the book show.
People like that.
Like 75 cents.
But these are cheapers, and I just needed to get like a couple of minutes.
First, yeah. When I look at it, it's like
yeah, right.
it's like 6 is down, right here, like 3 is like right before it's going down. Page 3 is like
Last.
no.
You want water?
Yeah, it's really real. One out of 100 people you get.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It has 14 names. They keep saying Steve Madden, Steve Madden, Steve Madden, Steve He has 14 names.
Who's Steve Madden?
Steve Madden, Steve Madden, Steve Madden, Steve Madden, Steve Madden. This is right here. And 14 more. 28 names. Steve Madden. Steve Madden. Steve Madden.
Yeah, I did because I was thinking
14. 14.
He
has
numbers now.
16. No. 26 middle names. Who has that many middle names?
Well, yes. I think it's because men and women are from two different sides of the cosmos. Families of origin. Yes. And also, a lot of experience. A lot of experience. Like, like,
Whoa.
Well, they sort of intuitively know if I treat them like that, they're going to leave me. So, but you figure,
Do you have a chair?
You're gonna need more paper cups.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey Rebecca, it's good to see you. Hi everybody. What's up, very nice? Thank you all for coming.
Thank you for inviting us.
You're welcome.
Really?
This workshop wasn't just for anyone. A lot of you have heard me say, if you're not ready to, to take something, your life to the next level, whatever it is, ready to stay engaged, say, how can I use this? Then you're not ready yet, don't come. I knew space is limited. I just want to share, hi, how are you? That in a couple months, we're going to have a much larger place and we're expanding. It's not going to be as crowded, okay? Well, thank you, Brianna.
You're welcome. Do you want me to use it?
No, it's okay. Just I'll use it as I need, okay? Thank you. I'm not sure if I even have a place to put it right now, but I'll use it and I'll hold it as needed, okay? Thank you. So, you guys okay over there?
So they want a chair.
What's that?
They want this chair.
Why don't we have one of you move? This way there's a little bit of a path. This way, in case, a fire code or whatever, like I have, can we have one person? Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. So, okay, so just in case, yeah, thank you. So, wow, emotional mastery. Let me just go ahead, I'm gonna just paint the picture for you of what we're gonna do here today, okay? So a lot of you are looking to, some of you are looking to heal from things in your life. Will you raise your hand if that's you? Anyone? Okay. Some of you are looking to you're already healing from things, you want to speed it up. Let me know if that's you. Yes, good, right? Okay. Some of us here are just want to grow more spiritually. Raise your hand if that's you. Okay. What's that?
Answering yes to everything.
Well, if that's what you want, then I guess you're in the right place so far. So, what we've been doing for you is raise your hand if you're a patient of mine already. Okay, like 90%, right? So I want to welcome those of you who I don't know yet. It's a pleasure. Okay, and what I want to share with you is for those of you who have been working with us, we know that your brain is an important part of your body, right? We want it to work. We want it to work well. We know that the brain doesn't just work by itself. A dead body has a brain, does it not?
Yes.
Okay. So there is an intelligence, a spirit of life that flows through there that runs the show. And if there's enough life being expressed to any organ, cell, tissue, it'll continue making nice, healthy cells. When pressures or stresses come into your life, it'll help you adapt and overcome. So there's a power inside you that can do things that you don't know how to do. No doctor in the world knows how to make new cells. Can't make new liver cells for you right now, or new heart cells, or artery cells. Can't make new shoulder cells, muscles, ligaments, discs. No doctor in the world can do that. We can take one cell and try to clone it, but you need to use that cell, and you need to let the cell actually be the one doing it. We don't know how. Only life can do that. So there's an intelligence that's greater than us, that's within us, that runs the show, is keeping you alive. It helps you adapt to stresses and challenges in your life. And we want it to be expressed. For those of you who are patients, what percentage do you want it to be expressed? 100%. Can you just lower the volume on those? And then thanks. So 100%. That's the goal. Okay? He's not home now. Here, take that. Can you just the ringer off on that? Yeah. Thank you. So 100%. So if there's pressure on those nerves, right? Here's how you're starting to take care of yourself. If there's pressure on those nerves, and if the intelligence that needs to run the show is not being fully expressed, then what's happening at the end of that nerve? Is that area getting healthier or sicker?
Sicker.
And see, it's literally, you're always making new cells. Is it making healthy cells or sick cells?
Sick cells.
Okay? So many people don't know that. A lot of you had that going on for years, so did I. Those of you who know me know my story, right? How I almost died at age 35, okay? And whoever wants to know that story, if you're interested, ask me after, because it's, but the point is that my body was getting sicker and sicker, and as long as that intelligence is not being expressed, it's going to get sicker. We die early. Those parts of my body are going to die earlier. And we're here about saving lives. That's what it's about. We're here about saving our own life too. Yours, and yours, and yours, and whoever it is. Nobody can do it for you. Sometimes we can delay certain things, right? But only the power of life inside you can actually make new healthy cells. Let's say someone's, if a car is being damaged, imagine there's damage happening to like the windshield wipers, all right? That's kind of like if you get bruised and cut up or you hurt yourself, you get scraped. It's not something that's going to make or break your life. It's not something that's going to kill you. But of course you want it to heal. And of course you want your windshield wiper. What if it rains? You got to make sure it's in good shape. But what if there's some damage, there's rust happening to an integral part of the engine? And it's progressing. And it's your car, you own it. It's not just a lease. You got to stop it. Because that life of your car will be cut shorter. Well, how many people do we know where it's not just a bruise or something, but it's your blood pressure? That means your cardiovascular system is damaged. There's damage. It's rusting. There's damage happening. That's your blood vessels. There's blood pressure is too high. Your blood vessels are sick. That's like an integral part of the engine, isn't it? And so we go ahead, we take medicines to lower the pressure. It's good to take care of the pressure. We don't want it too high. Yes, that's okay. But what are we doing about the damage spreading in the arteries? Most of us are letting heart disease become one of the top 3 killers in this country. And as we've been lowering cholesterol and putting more drugs, it hasn't gone down. It's only gone up over the last 10, 20 years. So if there's damage happening, it needs to be addressed. But the problem is that there's no drug, no doctor in the world, including me, I wish I could, that can fix it. Only the power that made you can heal you. It's the only way.
Amen.
So we want that power flowing through at what percentage?
100%.
All right. Now when we go ahead and we take pressure off the nerve, that potential is now 100%. Notice the word potential. It's like if there's little pebbles in the hose, and I'm trying to turn the water on, and it's clogged up in some way, it's not getting through all the way. Maybe it'll trickle through, maybe enough to keep me alive as I get sicker and sicker through the years. But is that what you want?
No.
Of course not. So the point is I go ahead, I take the pebbles out. It's like taking the pressure off the nerves. Now the potential's there. Does that mean water's going to be flowing through 100%? Not necessarily. How is the faucet open? Is it open all the way? Is it not? You have the spirit of life. You want to see when someone has, no matter how decayed or rotting your spine is, you can always have more or less life in there. You know what? You ever see someone watch a mother fight for the survival of her child, and in that moment you'll see so much passion, so much life flow through her that it doesn't even matter how much, whatever pain she's gone through, whatever she's challenged with, she will overcome and she will fight like a lion for her cub. There's so much passion there. When you're full of life, you have that willingness to fight for what's right in your life. We all have it inside us. No matter how subluxated you get, for those who don't know what subluxation is, it just means interference in the expression of life through us. We're not always expressing it. How many times do we say, I just know so-and-so, but we didn't know how to express it, and we're not willing to fight for that person's life or something, and even if they're, you know what I mean? We're not always fully expressing life. We get subluxated. The #1 cause of subluxation, who knows what it is? It's 3 things I always list to you. No, it's not stress, but this is the perfect workshop to talk about it, okay? Because stress is... All right, we're going to go ahead, and let me just pre-frame what we're going to do. We're going to decide, this is a very important topic that came up, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about stress. Then I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to go over emotions a little bit. I'm going to show you how to keep the energy up, how to keep the faucet open. And I'm going to give you a few techniques to do that. But first, I'm going to make sure you understand it. Okay? This way you do a good job at it. And then we're going to go over any questions afterwards that you need to know. And whoever's working on how does this apply to my body? What about my care? What about this issue I have? How do I apply that, doc? And this way we're going to make sure everyone can take their care, their life, their health, whatever, to the next level, whatever you're interested in, okay?
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about that stress thing. And I want, you help me keep on track, okay? Okay, so that's what just came up. So stress. When you think about stress, what is it that you think about? What comes up to you when I say stress? Think of something that's stressful.
Okay, money.
Money. What else?
Worry.
Worry and different negative emotions. What else?
Health.
Health. We'll put baby in the corner. You start dirty dancing?
Yes, I love that.
In my little corner.
Worry, what else? What do you think of stress? Insecure?
Yeah.
What else?
Fear.
Doubt.
Fear.
Fear, doubt?
Doubt. Work.
Your job, your work, right? What else? Family. What else?
Friends.
Friends. Friends can be stressful, right? What else? What are we thinking about? What else? Traffic? Traffic, right?
Government.
You know, I used to be so stressed out when I stayed at the same light twice because I had this judgment, this rule that I should never have to stay at the same light twice. So it went red, and the guy's not going, and then all of a sudden it got red again before I got to go. I was so upset. Because I was always late for things, and I didn't manage my time well, and I always, you know, that's how I was. What else? What else do we think of as stress?
Traffic accident.
Traffic accident, right? Bumper to bumper traffic. What else?
Tickets.
Tickets. Oh my goodness. If there's one thing I can't stand, fine. If I have to spend money on something, that's fine. But when it's something that I'm like, come on that? Don't they take enough with my taxes? Come on, right? What's that?
Taxes.
Taxes. There's another stress. What else? What else are we thinking about? Come on.
Deadlines.
Is that it? Is that all the stresses in the world for people? Deadlines? Bills?
How about life?
Life? Thank you. Someone said it. You guys, if we kept going, you're going to say everything in life. And that's the whole point. I want to share with you something. You've been misled. Some way, somehow, I don't know who, I don't know what, but somehow society misled you to think that stress is the cause of everything problem in your life, and then to tell you that life itself is stress. Yeah, all right, so for some people, it's starting to have a shift. You're starting to get it. Because it's not your life that's the problem. It's how well it's being expressed. That spirit of life is your greatest gift. That's right. It's your greatest gift. Now, it's not, and every need you have, everything you need to overcome every challenge, it's inside you at 100%. That does not mean it's always being expressed at 100%. It's what we're here for. It's what you're learning with each visit. How to let go. How to let that power flow through. What it actually means. It doesn't mean to sit in the corner and just hope everything changes. But when you pray, you're praying for what's my guide me. What's my part here? But you're letting go of the pressure. You know how many of us are walking around? I was walking around with so much pressure on my shoulders to get everybody better. And the more successful I got, and the more patience I got, the sicker I was getting because I had all this pressure on me. Now I tell you, whose responsible is it for you to get better? Well, the pressure's gone. Give me your money. So the point is that it's about knowing that it's not your responsibility to get the job done. It's only your responsibility to do your tiny part. And that this universe is so full of love and abundance, the power that allows the earth to spin on its axis right now, that created all the stars in the sky, the power that created you, this marvelous, magnificent, omnipotent energy, this source of life, this love is inside us, and it's working on your behalf right now, and all we have to do is let it work through us. And I will tell you right now that I was the most stubborn and the most resistant. And you know what my biggest subluxation was? I already thought, since I'm doing everything for God, I always grew up very religious, and I wanted to do everything for God. So when I took care of my patients, and when I was, doing things, I was doing it my way. I wasn't really letting go, letting myself be molded in every way. When you make an adjustment, what are you looking for it to do? Who knows? Who got adjusted recently? What are you looking for things to, any conflicts or tensions to do? What are you looking for it to do?
Surrender to God.
Ready? There's a specific word that we used that made it easy, because sometimes we don't know what that means. If you have a snowball and you put it in the sun, here's how you get your adjustments more powerful. A snowball, you put it in the sun, what's going to happen to that snowball? It's going to melt. Every challenge you have in your life, every area where you're not experiencing infinite abundance right now, there is a subluxation. There is a conflict, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever it is. Somehow, some way, there's a conflict that needs to be melted. Because when the sunlight hits it, when God's spirit light hits that conflict, all of a sudden it melts. To melt means it's not, when you come in for your adjustment, Lorna, is it me doing something, saying, come on, we're going to get you to surrender, let's do it? Or are we looking for a change from the say that?
Inside.
From the inside out. We need to acknowledge it, You can't be in denial or deny. Your brain sometimes is denying stuff. Sometimes we want to do an adjustment, we couldn't do it yet. And I don't want to just let it go. I want you guys to make sure everyone's getting the most healing, getting the most abundance in their life, the most abundance of life, health, wealth, everything. All right? The wealth comes too. You have those gifts and talents inside you that you're not even looking for yet. In every area of your life, they need to be developed. You know what? There's so many people with gifts of athleticism, for example, and endurance and strength that are not in the Olympics. The ones that are in the Olympics are the ones that trained. They looked for their gifts. They developed those gifts. They believed in themselves. They had someone help them if they needed to. So everyone's looking to get more money, to more this, more that, and we're putting the pressure on ourselves to make it happen. And we're looking outside. How can I do that? How can I do that? Instead of looking inside, trusting that you have a perfect role in this universe. You have certain gifts. If you develop that gift inside you enough that you're enriching the lives of others, you don't think that's going to bring abundance to you?
Oh, sure.
And then you want to double your salary? Say, develop that gift until you reach twice as many people and enrich their life. You want to do more? You want to see infinite abundance in your life? Surrender your life completely to God. Go ahead and say, I want to develop my gifts until I'm able to enrich the lives of countless people. Because that's exactly what you're doing. You're letting that power of life flow through you. That's all it is. So your emotions play a huge role in this because it's not just physical. We need to make the faucet open.
Yeah.
So we're here to understand a little bit about that. Brianna, can I borrow you as a helper? Thank you. Can I have a tissue, paper towel, something? Do we have a marker for this?
Yeah, right.
Perfect. Thank you. Why don't you erase that? Here's a good one, though. Look at this quote here that was here. I don't know. It was left there from whenever I wrote it. What does that say, Janet?
A seed only grows in the dark. It has to stretch to reach the light.
Isn't that amazing? You know, when I went through doctors telling me I had cancer and I was very sick for a while. I was 35 years old. They wanted me to do chemo. They wanted to cut out my intestines. I knew that if I did that, I would have a lifetime of sickness. And I was too young. Yes, please. And the thing is, I was so stubborn in my life that I was pushing myself so hard, feeling so much pressure, so much burden to help people, pushing it on myself. You know, life didn't want me to take the burden of getting every one of you better. Because then you're still feeling like a victim in life and you need help from outside of yourself. What that spirit life wanted me to do is show you have everything you need inside you right now. Everything you need, every tool you need, God already gave you. It's inside you. And like everything, something needs to be developed. So yesterday when I was playing with my two little girls, right, they're 6 and each 4, I didn't ask them, hey, do you want to learn how to catch? Because if they said yes, and then they didn't quite get it yet, they would feel like they failed. And I said, no. I said, you want to develop your catching skills? And then I said, let's practice. You do this 5 times in a row, then you turn. The more you do this, the better you get at it. And you may even catch something today. And by the end, each of them was catching balls. Because the pressure wasn't on to make it happen. They just did their part and knew that it will develop from the inside out. They didn't feel bad or guilty every time they dropped it and slowly can get more pressure on their nerves, more judgment, more. And you know what? Everybody's getting all this pressure on their nerves. They ignore it. They're letting it, you know, when you get more tension, for those of you who don't have patience, you get more tension and tightness. I mean, when you're stressed, your muscles and ligaments, they're not getting more relaxed and longer. They're getting tighter. And you get restricted motion. And you get restricted motion and abnormal wear and tear. You let that go on for 10 years, 20 years, and you take an x-ray of someone's spine, there's a lot of decay. And what we're doing is decreasing your potential for life to flow through. It's like automatic guaranteed disease is happening and spreading through your body. And we say, I don't get it. How did so-and-so end up with cancer? They're such a good person. I was a good person, I thought. You know? So the point is that you need to keep that power on, okay? Let's go back to the emotions. We need to keep that power. We need to know when you go through different life, the purpose of these workshops is how do you hold yourself accountable? Because we're helping you turn the power on, connect, but the rate at which you get better, is it the rate at which you come into my office based on that, which is less than 1% of your life? Or is it going to be based on how well you handle life? I was going to say the stresses, but I'm going to call it life. The challenges, here's the first point I want you to make. I might have it written on there. If not, just listen up. The stresses in your life, they're not there to hurt you. Every challenge in your life is there to bless you. Because there is not one stress, and tell me if this is not true. For anyone it's not true, raise your hand. I bet you I'm going to see no hands. That any stress or challenge you had in your life, right? You're going through a big one right now. That as you go through it, as long as you had enough life, you stayed empowered, believed in yourself, you pushed through all the challenges. By the time you got through it, not only did you conquer it now, but looking back, are you a better person because of it?
Absolutely.
Did you grow?
Yes.
Did it improve you as a person?
Yes.
Did it increase? Here it is about everything's about purpose. Did it improve your ability to enrich the lives of others? If they're going to go through that same hard time, did you just become more blessed as ability to be a vessel for love to flow through and help someone else through it? Make it easier, ease their suffering?
Yes.
Help them start to have more trust and faith?
Yes.
So we're all here to do that. So we need to understand how our emotions work, though, because every time these things happen in our life, right, not only do you want to learn how to handle each of these things, but today's a special visit because we're talking about emotions. And when you get exposed to different challenges in your life, I guarantee you it's going to bring up some emotions. All right? Definitely. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Look how blessed we are. Wow, so many people. I just pray to always want to reach more people, help save more lives, reach people, help them connect more with their source, and live. You know, my mission is to help bring more people to God's abundant life, one family at a time.
Amen.
That's it. All right? So anyway, so your emotions. Let's go ahead and look at what an emotion is before I give you some techniques. What do you say? All right? You have this energy, this vibration inside. Thank you, Brianna.
You're welcome.
Let me have you step at the door. Go ahead, roll off this way. I'm going to turn like this for a second, okay? You're amazing. You're so amazing. I owe you big time for this. I know. There we go. So, yeah, we're going to draw a triangle here. All right? And we're going to put focus here. I think you have the triangle on your papers. Physiology. I'm trying to physical because it's easier. So physiology is how everything's working in your body. Okay? And over here, what's that meaning? Alright, you have it on your thing, okay? So all three of these things controls the feeling that you're feeling inside. How many times, who here, raise your hand if when you focused on something really, really good, sometimes you're ready to get adjusted, or you thought you were. We're here to connect you to a higher power to let go, but your mind was just busy on the phone or something else, and you're here to let go of something. You're here to let something melt, to connect with your spirit inside, and you weren't quite ready yet. And so I talked you through it. And then all of a sudden, things that were not ready to let go of, all of a sudden everything starts opening up. Raise your hand if that was you at some point. Okay? So the point is that what you focus on determines your feeling. Everybody. And some of you are like, you know, nope, watch this. Whatever you focus on, don't let it be the color red. You know? Some of you are focusing on things you don't want to focus on and you keep trying to avoid it. That's not how it works. You know, who we are as a person can really be, you can really tell a lot about, you know, any creator, whether you're an artist and you're creating, you can tell a lot about the creator by the creation, by what you see around. And when you start looking at all the beauty and you really see things without conflict in your eyes and you see it for what it is, you'll see that the world is really amazing. You know that. It's amazing. That's why I know whenever someone has a conflict, I had 3 people with Lou Gehrig's disease. I had 2 people with Lou Gehrig's disease, 2 out of 3 that I was working with, get out of wheelchairs and start walking again. Who knows what Lou Gehrig's disease is?
That's what Stephen Hawking said.
You're losing all the function. The problem that Stephen Hawking has is that he knows too much that he doesn't believe that an intelligence greater than his. And he says that the universe made itself. That's his highest theory.
Yes.
You know, I'd love if that was true in my house for like apple pies to make themselves. Because I love apple pie, but it just doesn't happen that way. But if you go ahead and you study life at the smallest level, you'll see, yes, electrons will appear and disappear. They call them probability clouds. Like, yeah, I studied all that. That doesn't mean that there's no creator. That means that the way that the world was created is that we live in a world of infinite possibility. I love that idea. That's all it means. But you need to humble yourself to something greater if you want to let yourself shift in a way that's bringing healing. That's all the difference is. So I had 2 guys do that. They were in wheelchairs. They couldn't even walk. They're being told they're going to die. And now they're able to go on vacation with their families. No wheelchair. You're going to be out of a wheelchair soon. You've noticed the difference, right? Right? When you first came in, big guys carrying you in the arms like this. Your legs were, you know, limp. And now you're walking in my office, not balanced 100% yet, but you're right on track. How are you? So the point is, you have this amazing power. We want to keep it on. You need to know how to handle your emotions. So just know what they are. First of all, here's a tool that you can have. Ready? You can change your focus. Who's in charge of what you focus on?
We are.
You are. That's your free will right there. That's a gift. Okay? Now, I want you to make a note on your chart. On the front page, see how it says, what does it say here? It says, breaking the negative cycle and experiencing the positive loops starts with training your mind to focus on the things that make you feel good. Okay? It's not about just that. Because there are times in your life where you're exactly going to want to do that. Let's just say I have an area of my life that's important to me that needs healing. Let's say I'm having troubles with my wife. Okay? That's it.
We can all
It's a
relate to that.
hypothetical. If I was having trouble, all right, that's an area of my life that I'm going to want to focus on healing. If it's important to me, if I value anything you value, you're going to want it to last longer, and you want it to be in good shape. Well, guess what? You know, there's a principle called entropy in this world. It means energy always dissipates. If you don't maintain something, if you don't keep putting energy into it, whether it's your spine we're talking about, or your relationship, or your anything, it's going to rust. It's going to break down. Okay? So the point is, I'm going to want to focus some attention on there. But immediately, as soon as I focus on something bad, what happens? How does it make me feel? I want you to focus on going outside and seeing that you have a parking ticket, and then you go to grab it and you realize there's 3 there. Okay? How did that make you feel? Okay? What's that?
I can't say.
What happened to the vibration in the room?
Went down.
It went down. But imagine you go ahead and you find out on the day that you just found out that you won the lottery, you go ahead and you found out that you don't just have one special new baby in the family, but you had twins. And you feel happy about it, and you're like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that, depending on what you focus on, it changes your energy. It changes the way you feel, right? Imagine driving, imagine a city. Not just any city, it's not the biggest city, but it's the perfect city. With the exact, perfect everything. The population's not too overcrowded, it's a perfect population. Whatever you feel is perfect for you. You think you may want to go ahead and live in that city. And if you did, everything would be perfect. Now there's one thing. On one street, on West 53rd Street, or whatever it is, there's this huge pothole. Okay? How many of us, right, did it change the way you felt about that city, about living there? You have this beautiful city, and all of a sudden, you want to know why that happened? You felt your energy shift? It's because you've been conditioned since childhood to focus on the negative. Look out for the pothole, though. And if you continue focusing on that, it will consume you. It will consume your whole city. I know some people, no matter what you ask them about, they'll always relate it to their problem. You know? What's going on? Oh, it doesn't even have to be in the city near where the pothole is. Oh, is there a carnival going on? Yeah, it's over here. But you know what? They really don't take good care of the streets, so you might have traffic. And it's like, what? The whole vibration just went lower. The thoughts that they're attracting are lower. The feelings, when you have less life being expressed through you, you become less of a vessel for goodness, less of a force for good. And there's more stress and negativity being passed around. You got to keep your power on. You got to keep that power up. Whose responsibility? Who has to hold himself accountable for keeping your power up?
We do.
Us. You do. I can't do it for you. I can help you in adjustment, guide you, help you let go. How long does that last? It depends on you. That's why we train you how to do it. Because as soon as you have 100% life flowing through, doesn't your body start making healthy cells again?
Yep.
That's right. It already did it the first time when it formed you from nothing. You were formed from nothing. You know what I mean? You just had, like this physical expression right here came from nothing. Only that's something divine. You have a divine spark inside you. And of course it can rebuild you and repair you. Of course. It already did it. And if it can make you from scratch, then it can definitely repair an injury when there's already a lot to work with. It's just a part that's injured or something. Okay? So, but there's certain rules, certain laws of life. There's spiritual laws, there's physical laws. God made both. And you got to know what they are. And as long as you align with it, you'll succeed. So, when it comes to your emotions, if we're always focusing on everything wrong, is that going to help you? That's a law. Okay? Now, here's the thing. So, you got to focus on things that make you feel happy. So, if I go ahead, here's why I said pull out your pen, get ready to make a change. Because that's true. And here's where it's true. If the healing, the relationship with my wife is going to take time. Because if I just ignore it now, I'm always focusing on everything else, not giving her enough attention, she's going to leave me. So if it's important enough to me, I need to focus some attention there. Wouldn't you say?
Yes. Absolutely.
You'd say, and if I wasn't, and you cared about my relationship with my wife, you'd say, Doc, you know what, your wife's waiting for you, man. You know what I mean? You'd feel bad for me. You'd feel bad for her. You'd be like, oh. Anyway, the point is that you need to focus your attention there. But that's where the growth comes. That's where healing comes from. Because if you care about something, right, you might need to focus on it, but you need to allow the meaning that things have for you to start shifting. Do you follow? Now you're allowing shifting and growth in yourself as a person. You're allowing growth. And it can't just be mental. If I went to the spiritual retreat and all of a sudden I feel like a new man. And I go home and I tell my wife all about my spiritual changes I'm having. But I still didn't change any of my habits. I still leave my clothes all over the place. I still, you get who you are as a person can be told by besides a creator, but your habits are going to be changing. That's what you're going to see. Because who you are as a person is shifting. And if it didn't change your habits yet, you haven't allowed enough life to flow through you yet. Because your habits need to change. They all do. Every single one of us. Not because you're imperfect. It's because that's who you are. Your perfection is divinity. You're always growing. And if everything else is growing around you faster than you are, then you're being left behind. And we see so many people in scarcity. When really, you want to see more abundance in life, you're losing it out of millions. Start looking for the gifts God gave you. It's right on the corner of what you love to do and what you feel good at, what you feel like you're good at. And start saying, is this where it is? And start moving forward. Say, hey, if that's not it, you won't see a transformation start happening. If it is your gift, you're going to see all of a sudden something happen. Somebody comes into your life, all of a sudden, and you say, okay, this is where I need to develop this. And the more, as long as you're developing it in a way that enriches the lives of others, you can't be focusing on yourself. You focus on yourself, and you're getting self-fixated again. To enrich the lives of others, what's your purpose? The next thing you know, so you need to write that down. That's another tool. How many of us are striving so hard for things in our life? And I said, why are you doing this? Why? How many times, raise your hand if I asked you when you came in for an adjustment, I said, why are you here? Because sometimes we still didn't get it yet. And I know that you're going to heal faster as soon as you align with your purpose. It's all about spirit. It's all about purpose. It's all about life. So you need to know what your purpose is. You need to know why you're doing something. And your purpose may not be the right purpose yet. Because it's not about your purpose. It's about the way the whole universe is unfolding. There is the purpose. And you will know, because if I say, well, why are you doing this? And you give me an answer and I didn't like it. I mean, I didn't feel enough inspiration from it. To be inspired means to feel that spirit flowing through you. I mean, I want a better reason. But as soon as you have a really good reason, one that's inspiring, your heart opens up. You go ahead and express that to anyone and you'll melt their heart too. You'll see God will just open up doors for you. So if you're not sure why you want something that you're working for in your life yet, if you don't have an inspirational why, start writing down reasons why you want it until you find something that's inspiring. And then use that as your why. And next time someone tells you why, before you even tell someone what you're doing, tell them why you're doing it. Ooh, watch their heart open up first. Because it's going to change their life. Now you have a higher power working in your life. You want to see more abundance flow into your life? Start aligning with His purpose. You got it? That's another tool. So what I'm saying is, if you didn't write it down mentally or physically, that before you go after something, find out what's the inspirational reason why you want to do it. How is it going to enrich the lives of others? How are you going to serve a higher purpose? How? Why? Why? And that will open doors for you. My water. So why? That's so important. It has to, you want it to be an inspirational why. Why am I doing this workshop? Because like I need to teach you guys stuff. No, why am I doing this workshop? I know that if you just take one tiny aspect of it and apply it into your life. Thank you, honey.
Oh, it's so darling.
Hey. Yeah. Thank you.
So sweet.
That's God working through someone right there.
His bright eyes.
I said I was thirsty, and you got me a glass of water. Thank you, Bright Eyes. Daniel is amazing. Yes, he is. I know. That's why I call him Bright Eyes. You see, you look in his eyes, you see that sparkle of life. To start at such a young age with this habit of letting go, letting go, letting go, always knowing you make time to let go, always make time to let life flow through. What's the most valuable thing you got? It's life itself. Let it flow. Let it be expressed through you. You want to see more abundance in your life of health, an abundance of friendship, or an abundance of laughter, an abundance of fulfillment? Watch how you enrich the lives of more people, how you'll feel more fulfilled. You need to contribute in some way. You need to feel enough love and connection, but you also need to feel significant and important. You need some diversity in your life because you don't want to get bored. And you also need some security. Like, you need to know certain things are going to be there for you. Well, when you start allowing that higher power to be expressed through you in every way and doing everything for that purpose of some type of inspiration to flow through you to others, guess what? All of your needs get fulfilled. And some of those needs are contrary. Some of your needs, your emotional needs, like the need for significance and the need for love, they're contradictory. The more, think of a relationship between a man and a woman, the more I want to feel significant, the less love she's feeling. And the more I'm feeling more love and connection, the more we see ourselves as, the less independent each of us feels. But we need that feeling for independence, and we also need to feel like we're not alone. We need all of it. And the only way you can get everything is in that higher power. Right? So we need to align with purpose more. Why are you doing something? How many times, sometimes people come up to me all the time and I'm just like, well, they'll start talking about all the details. Did someone say, excuse me?
Yes.
Oh, did you need me?
No, I said April.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. God bless you. Gesundheit. So anyway, you guys get the point? It's about purpose. It's about why. It's about something greater than just the physical. If you go ahead and you have an inspirational why, will the physical be added onto you? Of course. What's that?
All things will be added unto.
That's right. So are you actively seeking, looking for those gifts, looking to see how you can enrich the lives of others? That's what you got to do. And it starts off with what? Why do I want to do that? Because if you're not clear about that yet, if it's not inspirational enough, don't even bother starting. You're gonna stop, or you'll fail. It's just you're not at the right vibration yet. But as soon as you're aligned with purpose, you have an inspirational why. Then when the first conflict comes up because you're so inspired, you're gonna stop. No, the world will, the stress, the world, all the challenges, you're here to help enrich the world. You're here to serve God. You're here to help the world become a better place. So the point is, as soon as you start to do that, you're going to meet the resistance. If you're not prepared for that, sometimes you don't even know how you're going to do it. I don't know how sometimes. When I spoke at your church, I went in there, I said, I don't know how I'm going to reach people. I prayed that, I said, God, I want to just let go of everything. I said, everything that I thought I was going to say, I said, forget it. I was getting too nervous. And I said, I scratched it all. I erased it. That's a sketch. I said, let it just be you. And whatever comes out, comes out. We got 31 people signing up, and I think like 20-something came in, but then it's only those who have ears to hear, and sometimes you'll hear a message but you have other commitments in your life, and you recognize it's the truth, but your commitments to other things will choke it out as it starts to grow. And that's why some of you, I just keep coming. Because the more you keep aligning with the same vibration, the same, it's just the basic truth over and over and over again, you start to align with it. And when you're aligned with the truth, there's nothing that will hold you back. Nothing. No weapon formed against you can prosper. Yeah, not when you're aligned with the truth. You see? There's weapons all the time that hurt people, that kill people. The thing is, if you're aligned with the truth, if in that moment you're serving a higher purpose, somehow, some way, some miracle will happen to save you. I promise you that. It happened to me many times. I was in a car accident once, and the car was banged up on every side. I fell asleep at the wheel, going like 60 miles an hour. At the edge of the road, there was a hump, and I went flying up through. I broke through one tree into another tree. The car was banged up on every level. They were looking for, I felt a presence. Yes. All this was going on. It was like a peacefulness. And I felt myself placed gently in the seat. I got out of the car. I had to climb out from the top. and I climb out, and I walked away, and, you know, I was, how old was I, Kara? Do you know? It was a while ago. But I didn't know her yet, but she knows everything about me because she's my wife. She knows better than I do. Anyway, the point is that miracles will happen for you.
Yeah.
I had not a scratch. Okay?
Wow.
So why? Ready? So, your emotions. But you don't always. So there's going to be times where you want to change your focus, but then there's other times where you're going to need to allow growth. You're going to now allow your feelings to melt. What does melt mean? It means to change from the inside out. That's what you said. That's right, from the inside out. And you want to make a habit of this. If you didn't make a habit of it yet, then you're not letting God mold you yet. Why would you ever not want that power to be in charge? That power of love, fulfillment, joy, the source of all success. You're going to go ahead and through your life, you're going to constantly, when we're in charge throughout the day, we're constantly, there's this one line, the road is straight and narrow, right? And we're always falling off on this side, no matter how hard we try. So make a habit, not, oh, let me try it once, a habit of feeling all the stresses and tension and every time you try to take control, and surrender it. Let it melt. Physically look for it. That means you made the decision that you'll do whatever it takes until you feel something change. Because that's full of faith. You felt that? See? And then what happens is transformation takes place. Miracles. We just had that connection. Yeah. So it's about those habits. You want to develop a habit. Look for it. But habits, there's a basic law of nature that God made. Your habits can only be subdued by another habit. So if your habits are negative, holding you back, you need to develop a new habit. But a new habit, oh my goodness, we feel the pressure, the burden. How am I going to do that? You're going to fail like that. Because you're relying on yourself instead of that power inside you. You want to do just your part. You don't know how powerful the power of the word is. Just say the word over and over and over again. Say the word. Say, this is who I am and this is what I do. And say that at least 3 times a day, 5 times a day, whatever it is, and whenever you're reminded by that power inside you. And if you did that for 30 or 40 days, you know what starts to happen? You have a shift in your thinking and feeling. You know that part of you that acts some way and you don't know why you acted that way, but you just did? It starts to seep into that unconscious mind, the part where your dreams are created from. It starts to seep into who you are as a person, because every decision you make, your habits are a decision. And a lot of them were just automatic. But your decisions are made by the sum total of your beliefs. You're actually allowing a shift in your spirit. And your actions, your habits are different. See, as long as you're looking for your habits to be different, now you're looking for God to mold you. You're looking for that. As soon as we're looking for that, some of you feel resistances. That's called a subluxation. Come, let me help you adjust that. Let's work together. You can do it on your own if you want, but it has to get done. Because it's only going to hold you back. If you're resisting what that power inside you is doing, make a commitment, make a habit of always taking time every day, not when you come into my office, every day, to let it go. And you know why? Your whole life is going to be blessed by so much. First of all, spiritually, you have a stronger connection with your Creator. You're going to see your faith grow. As everything heals. Everything that medicine says can't heal, you start seeing healing. And you're like, whoa. We see people coming lame and start walking again. And it's just like, whoa. Everyone clapped the other day when Reverend Galvan walked from, through the thing. Was it you? Everyone clapped? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Right.
What's that?
Yeah, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
It's awesome. You know why? Because everyone loves to see miracles. Let me tell you something. Every day of your life is a miracle, and there's miracles looking to happen around you, for you, and through you. Be a vessel. Start feeling that joy every day in your life. Open up. Okay? So let yourself look to develop habits, okay? Habits of doing this. So then, but if it's going to take a long time for me to heal that, just to bring closure to this, that relationship with my wife, I can't stay focused on it constantly. I got to take breaks. Because else my vibration is going to... So you have to be able to let go. Trust in the timing. All healing takes time. All processes take time. That's a principle of life. No, it's not about your timing. It's about His. And you go ahead, and as long as you make that habit of doing what needs to be done, then, see, as long as I am trying, my wife sees I'm trying to change, and she sees it as a habit, she's okay with that, even if I'm not there yet. Because she knows I care. She feels the love. That's the whole point. God will take care of it. You just do your tiny part. Start with your words, repeat it over and over again. Watch how your decisions and actions change. When your actions change, you'll start getting better. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The better you get at it, the more enjoyable it becomes. The more enjoyable it becomes, the more you're going to keep doing it. Thus, a new habit is born. You will just change as a person completely, all the way through your soul. Permanent, and whatever healing came with that is permanent now because you allowed a new habit. It's not, oh, let me try for a little bit. Let me see what this can do for me. Let me see what God can do for me. Let me see, you know what I mean? You're allowing growth. You are going to be able to help more people, make a bigger difference, feel more fulfilled. And when you move on, when you graduate life, you will be filled with more fulfillment and joy and abundance than you could ever imagine. Let's go ahead. Physical. Let me touch on that because that's the third part of how you feel. All your emotions. You have all the emotions you feel, which are all telling you something. When you're overwhelmed, all right, your emotions telling you to go ahead and prioritize. Make a list. See what's important, all right? Because you're feeling overwhelmed. You just need to prioritize a list. All of a sudden, the overwhelming is really, and here's how you do it. We walk around with these to-do lists and remind you in our heart, and we're feeling even more overwhelmed. You need to draw a line, write down a piece of paper, or draw a circle, and everything on the outside, and the only thing in the center or on one side of the line, whatever way you want to do it, is what you're going to do today. That's it. It's going to be like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, depends on what you need. But if you didn't get it all done, take away one of those things for tomorrow's list. And the rest of your to-do list goes on the other side. That's something that you want the universe to provide somehow, some way. Probably happen through you, maybe not, but you're just putting it out there for the universe to help out. Okay? And you're starting to exercise your faith. And at the same time, you start to feel good about your list. You're like, you did it. And now, what are you focusing on now? At the end of the day, are you focusing on all the things that you didn't do? Or are you focusing on how, oh, I did these 3 steps and I'm closer to my goals? What does that do to your vibration, down or up? What does that do to the amount of life being expressed through you? What does it do to your amount to experience more life and success? More. It's the best thing in the world. You got it? That's another tool. Have a list, separate it. Just what you're going to do today. Don't ignore the other things. You can't ignore it, but put it on that list of what God to do for you. Of which you're going to know that you may play a role. What's my part? And whenever you know I can do this today, then that's going to become your part today. If not, don't write it down there. It'll bring more peace to your heart. And you will see yourself moving forward. That's the whole point. Life is growth. Life is moving forward. We're all here to help make a difference. Physiology. Let me tell you something. If you haven't exercised in a long time, meaning in years, go ahead and just go walk for like half hour and do it with the intention in mind of exercising. Let me get my body to move. I know it's good for me. That vibration. And I promise you that for the next few days, you're going to notice a difference if it's been decades or, and you'll see that you were created to do stuff, not just sit still, not just to meditate and ponder. You can't sit in a corner praying all day long because if that was His will, then so be it. But if you're going to be a vessel, it's got to be I'm pretty sure that you have a very important mission you're here for. You're here to all help make a difference in the world in some way. So you want to start looking to develop your gifts, open up, let God be in charge with every step. Make a habit of letting go. Get adjusted if you need to. Turn that power on. Learn how to do it better on your own, and you're going to see so much blessing. Your physiology affects your emotions too, your brain chemistry. Okay, you have your I know we started a little bit late, by the way. So if anyone wants me to close up faster, you just say the word and I can. If you want me to keep going, you just let me know.
Keep going.
Yeah? Okay. So the point is that your physiology, you know, if you don't drink enough water and you're feeling dehydrated, it makes a big difference, believe it or not. You go ahead and if you're really dehydrated, you take a couple glasses of water and you do that a couple times a day. Next thing you know, you're feeling better. Headaches go away. It's important, your physiology. Alkalizing, having more green vegetables in your diet. There's a difference between eating man-made foods and God-made foods. All right? You know, Snickers or, you know, broccoli or something that grows, something that's full of life. The more natural, the more, you know, the way it was originally intended without, you know, any type of manipulation to the genetics or something, usually the more life energy tends to have. But as long as it grew, it's going to have some life there. You get the idea? Okay. So your physiology plays a role, your focus, you can control your focus, right? Start doing it. You gotta break the loop. You know how when you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, that expression? Everything for the rest of the day is bad, 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 bad. Because whatever you're vibrating with attracts into your life. So the only way to break the loop is to do what? Let me hear you all say, take action. There you go. Live today like it's your last. Go ahead. If you wake up tomorrow, give thanks for another day. But go ahead and take some action. Stop putting if you're not putting all the weight of the world on you, and you only have just a couple things on the left side of the list or in that circle, then it's going to be easy. And you're going to see yourself moving forward, making progress. All right? Always be allowing yourself to develop new habits. Always allow growth. Always make a habit, please, of letting go, letting life flow through you. If you never got checked before to see how well life is flowing through you, get checked. If you've never taken good care of your spine, there could be some decay going on already. And the more there's physical damage, the harder it is to turn around. Sometimes people have permanent damage building up. Okay? So that's what I want to say about that. When it comes to physiology, there's more. Okay? Breathing techniques. When you're so stressed out, all right? Every emotion has a different thing. Like I said, feeling overwhelmed means to prioritize, right? If you're afraid of something, to feel fear, you can always identify the emotion first, if you can. If you're afraid, it means you don't know enough about something yet. That's a good one, right? Isn't that a more powered way of focus, of connecting with your emotions? Right? Anyway, the point is that when you go through these emotions, sometimes you're so stressed, there's a quick way of alkalizing. The fastest way to alkalize and change your physiology, and the fastest way to change your focus off of something is to focus on your breathing. Okay? So I'm going to show you 3 breathing techniques. We're going to take about 3 minutes, 1 minute for each, okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
When you're really, really, really stressed and someone wants you to take deep, long breaths, you just want to punch them in the nose. Okay? So you're not ready for that. You know what I'm talking about? It's like you're up here with stress because there's so much resistance, pressure, whatever it is, disappointment, whatever's going on. There's so much blockage in the flow of life. And, you know, there's all these conflicts in your spirit. And they want you to jump here and they say, come on, join me. And they're yanking you and it's just not easy. It's too big a drop. You don't want to fall. You don't want to get hurt. You can't do it. Go ahead and take a smaller step. So the first breathing technique for that, I taught you this one before, the box breathing. Do you remember the 4x4? So you're going to go ahead and you're going to take 4 short, quick breaths in through your nose like this. You remember that, right? And then out your mouth. Good. In through your nose, let's all do it together. If you're angry, if you're frustrated, if you're mad, don't try to get rid of it. Show me your angry face. We're not repressing feelings here. You're just allowing yourself time to process. You're making sure you're not repressing it. You're hiding it. You're letting it process. Who's feeling lighter? Who feels a change in the energy of the room?
Yes.
Okay. The next one is to go ahead, and if you can get to the next level, take nice deep breaths. Nice in, and all the way out. And what you're really training to keep it going. What you're really training yourself for is that if you want really that wisdom inside you to breathe through you. You don't even want to be in control of that. So if you're taking a deep breath, you're preparing your body that if it's going to be a long deep breath, fine. If it's going to be a short shallow breath, fine. You ever start paying attention to your breaths, and you notice sometimes it even stops for a second? Whatever needs to happen, just let it be. Because that's the third level. The third level is now you're prepared. Sometimes you're so overwhelmed with stress for so many years, you can't even take the deep breath when it needs to come naturally. But the third step is to let God breathe through you. Just take a moment and just watch your breath. Whoa, it went to a deeper level. It's that peace that starts to flow. Healing, transformation, conflicts are being clarified. You ever stress so hard to try to find a solution for something in your life, and then something in your heart said, just listen, let it go for a little bit, go to sleep. You wake up, what happens? You get that answer.
That happened to me today.
That happened to you today? Sometimes you just have to let go. Okay? So, those are 3 different breathing techniques. Okay? Let's see. So, with breathing techniques, focus, the list, questions. You'll see a list of questions here. Okay? We're going to close up with this, okay? And then I'm going to be here for any questions, because what's the one thing that we really want? How do I apply this to this? Doc, I'm having a hard time with this. How does that happen? I want to see you engaged, because that's where the growth happens. All right? You don't want to just sit there. You guys have been filling your heads with so much information. You have the internet. Even without the internet and all the things that come up in a way, then you have the pop-ups. You have the TV, the ads, but now the ads, they got clever. The ads are part of the show now.
Yep.
You're being bombarded with information from everywhere. We have the radio ads. Even all your friends are telling you all their opinions, and I don't want to be one of those just pushing my opinion on you. The real healing, the real growth comes from the inside out. So it's about engaging yourself, saying, right now, what you really want to do when you allow growth is saying, how do I apply this in my life? Because you want to develop what? Better habits. Thank you. There you go. Now you're looking to grow. And what you're looking for, you shall find. That's right. So we want to develop a habit of getting your mind engaged. You've been so used to disengaging because you're being bombarded. Even all your friends are pushing all their opinions on you. You know what you should do? And talking gossip, and it's just time to you need space. You need to connect from the inside out. That's where your answers are going to come from. So here's some questions. The best habit to start allowing yourself to allow answers from the inside out is not by listening to people's opinion, by connecting with questions. Okay, it should be by the triangle, right?
Triangle?
What's that? Oh, there it is. All right. Good morning questions. You don't have to use these questions. These questions are just an example. Write something down on the side of your. I just had Jim. What did I have Melanie do? Oh, I had her read something inspiring that's inspiring her to develop, to allow new habits to develop, and why she wants to do it, and how she's going to wake up with more vigor, more excitement, more joy in her life because she's allowing this growth, and she's reading that to herself at least 3 or 5 times a day, or whenever she remembers, and she does it every day for 30 days, for 40 days. What do you think is changing in her feelings? The way she feels about life? Everything's changing. Everything's changing. So look, most of us have crappy questions. We talked about your focus. Who's in charge of what you focus on? Yes. Well, how do you change your focus? It's actually in the power of questions. See, question, if we talk about how it's about letting a higher power be in charge, not trying to force things, you'll realize you'll be able to, I can't control your focus unless I ask you a question. You ever see 2 people in a conversation? The person controlling the conversation is the one asking the questions. So yeah, there's more power in humility. There's more power in questions than in trying to push your point, because you're trusting in the truth to be revealed. So you know, the morning power questions. What am I most happy about in my life now? Notice there's another question there. What about that makes me so happy? Because you can always go deeper. The goal is to go to the point where you feel your spirit expand. Get that life energy vibrating through. Very important. If you don't have a sense of purpose, though, ask yourself, why? What is my inspirational purpose for this? How am I going to, how am I going to enrich the lives of many people? Start asking that question, and watch what starts to happen and come into your life, and how you start to grow. And next thing you know, you're like that 16-year-old girl that started this. Can you tell me about that 16-year-old girl, please?
Oh, she.
I don't know her details, so you do it.
She wanted a car, but she only had $350, so she started making jewelry for her friends and family. And now I don't know how, it's like maybe 5-6 years later. It's called Origami Owl. It's like a multi-billion-dollar company.
16-year-old started a multi-billion-dollar company. She's still a teenager. You guys have the ability inside you to do anything. You're losing out on millions when you're not doing this. There's nothing more important to you than the spirit of life within you. Start becoming committed more to that than anything else. It's the first commandment. You got it? Let it flow. Problem-solving questions. That's like when we want to allow the meaning to change. When I said I want to focus a little time on something, if it's important to me, I don't want to just change my focus and ignore it. So, well, there's got to be something about this that that is good for me, and you start looking for growth from within. And those are the questions. All right. So I want you to know that. Develop a habit of asking those questions. Whatever that same question is, ask it over and over again. Sometimes you can go ahead, there's so many techniques, you can write a list of, 5 to 10 answers to each of those questions, and every morning you do the same question, and just see new things start coming out, because you're growing as a person. And all of a sudden, when you have that moment where you feel inspired to act on it, do it. But remember, if you want to get to that point, you can always get to that point where you feel inspired right now. Just always go deeper. What about that makes me feel so? Why is that so important to me? Well, what about that? Until all of a sudden you feel your spirit open up. And as soon as you're there, you can live like today's your last day. You can take action on that now, because as long as you have the inspiration there, and you will start reaching people. Now, you might be self-fixated in your communication. That's how I was when I first started. I just wanted to help people, just wanted to make a difference, but I wasn't, the reason why was so pure, but the communication was self-fixated. There wasn't enough love being expressed through it. There was too much pride being expressed through it. Like, I know better, you need this. So that didn't help. Especially when the type of medicine we practice is not what's traditional, everything. Most of the, standard practice is to just let disease progress and just keep treating the symptoms. But I know that's not what's best for anybody. I'm definitely not going to let that happen to my kids. Teach them the right way. So, if you have this power that can make healthy cells instead of sick cells, and all you have to do is just remove the interference, then that's a priority in my life. That's a priority for my kids. We teach them how to do that. It's a priority in everyone's here's life, whoever's a patient. I hope so. You did enough to at least spend money on it, right? You're starting to make it a priority. If you want to make a change, sometimes you have to invest a little time, energy, and money. Anything worth having is worth investing some time, energy, and money. Money is just an expression of value.
Exactly.
If I asked you, how valuable is something to you, you're going to be asking yourself, well, what would I spend on it? That's all it is. So just recognize if something that's not valuable to you, and you know it should be, then you have a self-fixation somewhere. That's all it is. That's all it is. And you start allowing your priorities to be aligned with truth, everything changes.
Yep.
So the last thing I want to share with you, and then I want to open up for any questions, okay, is just that when there is physical pressure on your spinal cord, when there's physical pressure on the nerves from all these years of pressure, wear and tear, not properly handling your spine. We didn't talk about spinal hygiene today, but some people will be asking questions about it, how to take better care of it. But if you're not taking good care of it, if it's decaying through the years, right, there's interference. That affects your brain chemistry. It affects your CSF flow, your cerebral spinal fluid. It makes it harder to make new decisions. You ever see someone who's older and say, oh, they're just stuck in their ways? Yeah, stuck in their ways. I've seen older, healthy people. And when they're healthy and they learn something that's going to transform their life, help them, they go, oh man, I wish you told me that 20 years ago. They're ready to change because they're ready. That's what life is. It's always adapting, changing, full of life. But if they're unhealthy, and then you don't think it's age. When you start having problems and you say, oh, I'm getting older, that right there is a bad habit. All right? I said that when I was in my 30s. I started having symptoms. It was a warning sign that I needed to change something. I didn't know at 35 I was going to be told I had cancer. But I remember saying to myself, oh, I'm getting old. Doesn't matter how old you are, you'll catch yourself saying that's a bad habit. It's based on an incorrect belief because of the field of medicine, because we're just so used to letting things go. Medicine's a gift from God. It's there for emergencies, but you're not meant to live on drugs for the rest of your life. You're meant to live on the power of God inside you. You got it? Okay. So if there's any damage in your spine, if there's anyone who was invited as a you know, I don't know who you know or how you ended up here, but if you, whoever it is, we have tests that actually can measure to see how well life flows through. If there's blockage, if there's any damage happening, which will cause organs to get sicker, you'll be able to see it. You can see, if we see damage happening, we'll even include any x-rays. It's a gift for anyone who brought someone as a guest today. That's what I'm saying. It's there for you. You want to see it? You want to see if there's any damage happening? It's just, we'll do that for you, okay? And yes, do you have a question? Did I miss anything out?
There's a picture of the grill on the desk for you.
Oh, yes. Where's the picture?
Right behind you.
On the desk.
Yeah.
All right, check out this grill, guys. We're having a raffle. We have a patient party. When's the party?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. A patient party. Okay? Sometimes people have a hard time communicating, or communication is still subluxating a little bit. We're trying to convince people of stuff instead of just, letting it flow through. Let me share something with you. If you want to reach somebody, not teach them, but reach them, go ahead, and if you want to really be a vessel for God to work through you, stop thinking about what you're going to say. And the best way to do it is to share your testimony. Just say, you know what, can I just tell you a story? And start telling, now you're not thinking about what you're going to say, it's just going to flow naturally. And you go ahead, you share your story, and next thing you know, you let that person's heart open up. And whatever is important, if there's something that's important for them, then they'll receive it. You got it? So some of you I know you've been having a hard time you're trying to reach people you care about. The people you care about, you want them to live longer, you want them to live well, especially you want to see if they're sick, they're already on medicines every week or every whatever they're doing, you want to see them get better, you don't want disease to spread, but you don't know how to communicate it. We have these parties, we have this, for example. I said you can bring guests, we won't charge, and and we'll bless you guys with the free exam, be able to look. Same thing for this party here. Yes.
And the dinner is right behind you too.
And the dinner. We have all these different events to make it easy. Okay, dinner is going to be fun because I'm buying everybody dinner. All right? Free food's always good. And anyone you know, you're allowed to bring them. No one wants to sit by themselves, especially if they're a stranger by themselves. So you go ahead, bring your friends, and you sit with your friends. And the reason I do that, I'm going to speak between the appetizers and the main dinner, the main course. I speak for like 20 minutes, half hour. I just go over just a couple basics. I share a couple stories, and I show people what it is that's possible for them. And anyone who wants to, they can sign up. They don't pay a thing if they want to. A lot of times we bless them, and usually there's like a small little fee just to some paperwork. Just show someone they committed, that they show up if I'm going to make an appointment with them. And the thing is that, and they don't even have to do it at the dinner. They do it when they show up. So if they didn't want to show up, they don't even have to, because we get that sometimes too. It's just really just to give to the community, to share the message, and it's all free food, and it's good, fun times. It's great food, great Italian restaurant. If we have depending on the size of how many people we get, let me know how many people you want to bring to the dinner, and we need to know in advance, and I'll know if I can do it in the usual restaurant, which holds up to like 30-something people that we usually do, or I'll find another restaurant. Doesn't matter, but we're going to make it a good time. It's going to be fun, okay? All right, so we have that. We have the dinner we do. We have this patient party. Patient party. And we're having a raffle. Every new person you bring on that day, there's no charge for the exam. Okay? I just had a few new patients that paid $100 for an exam. So there's a part of me sometimes that wants to just be like, I'm having this party next week. But you know what? It's just like, you know why? It's just, the party, it's really about you guys. It's helping you reach the people you care about. You just go ahead, you get anyone you bring in to get themselves checked out, get their health checked, their nerves checked, you get 10 raffles. If you have a place that you want us to speak at, you get 5 more raffles. All right? Even if you just come in for just yourself for a visit, you get 1 raffle. There's a chance for you to win. Just come in on the day, let's have fun with us, okay? Whoever you're bringing in, make sure you let us know. Because if I have like 20 people all come at the same time with like 10 people, there's going to be havoc. So we'll try to schedule it in, you know what I mean? And we'll make sure everything flows nice and smoothly. Okay, how does that sound? Good? So wherever it is you're trying to help, wherever you're trying to reach, we're here to help you too, okay? And you get a chance to win that grill. I thought it was the perfect gift. Last one we did was a flat screen TV, right? What's that? Yes.
Alan won.
Oh, you won it. You won the flat screen TV? Awesome, awesome. Right? One time before we did a mini iPad, we did another one in an iPad. You know, it's good gifts. And I figured, you know, summer's coming up, you know, why not a nice new barbecue grill? So anyway, guys, I love you. I'm going to leave the rest open for questions. And I really want you to be engaged. Come on. Show me you're ready to take your life to the next level, to take your care to the next level. Find out, if you're not sure how to apply something yet, I want you to walk out of here, everyone here, with at least one thing you say, okay, I know how to apply, at least I'm going to apply this. Because that one tiny seed will turn into the biggest of changes, okay? All right, thank you. Hey, Ray, let me hug you. Go ahead, honey. I love you.
One more.
Let's go. 'Cause you
Hey,
gotta go home.
Aaron.